Hello. I'm going to cover some functionality added to our 4.45 release, which is our December 31st, 2023 release. Specifically, this one is around the planned order screen. Just so if you don't use planned orders regularly, a quick overview is a planned order is a scheduling record. It's basically saying I want to make a particular product, maybe a particular quantity on a certain date, etc., but it's not yet a batch ticket. So it's the step before a batch ticket. It's kind of a planning record. MRP will look at that planned order, the raw materials needed to make that planned order, and schedule out those raw materials as well. So basically, if it's in the system as a planned order, from an MRP perspective, it will function like a batch ticket, but it's not yet a batch ticket. So it's easy to manipulate, move around on the schedule, production lines, etc. It has less data associated with it, but it's very important for scheduling and planning. Now, this screen, planned orders, has been around for a few releases. The whole idea behind it is we're given the ability to go and modify one or more planned orders that we've got and change different activities. For example, you may firm them. So an unfirmed planned order is something that MRP is suggesting. So you could firm these four. That's one thing you could do. You could also go and just change pieces of data on those selected records. One area that we see a number of people using this area is forwarded date adjustment. Let's say we would need to move all those orders out a week. We can actually go and adjust from the existing due date, start date. We start with the existing start date on the planned order to add 7 days to it. So you can do that for a number of different planned orders. You could also change the production line it's going on. So we're going from line 0 to line 1 as an example, and it switch all those over to that line. So this screen has been around for a number of years now, certainly a number of releases, and its purpose is to change a number of planned orders at the same time. Now, we added in this release this integration to Excel. So we have a number of clients that do a lot of this type of work. They may move things that were production lines or change dates or things like that, and they really wanted to be able to do that within Excel. They wanted to be able to take existing planned orders and change them, but they also wanted to be able to add planned orders from Excel and push them into our schedule. They may have a master production schedule that maybe they've got some other system that is feeding, telling us we need to make something, or maybe it's make to order and we want to take a particular order and shove it into the planned order scheduling system. This is a way to do that. Let me start with the export and then we'll talk about adding. So first thing, I can export all. That'll just take all of my planned orders and drop them out. Or I can hand select certain planned orders. I'll just do, say, 4 of them, and I can export those selected. Now, much like the forecast export, this is going to come in and ask me in what Excel file do I want to put it in. So I'm just going to, I already had one out there. I'll go ahead and save it over what I had done before, and it'll just push those records out to Excel, dropping all the data out here. Now, when we're dealing with these records in Excel, there are 4 fields that are required that we need for the import to work. One is the facility ID. The other is the component ID. Another is the quantity in stock unit of measure. So I've opened that up. We'd see quantity in stock unit of measure. By the way, there's the unit of measure, but we need this quantity. And then we also need the start date. So from there, that's all we need. We need those 4 fields, and it'll populate into our planned order, and where appropriate, default the rest of the data. If, like, for example, if it's a new planned order that I'm creating, if it doesn't have a planned order number, it will automatically add a planned order to it. Those are the only fields that are required. Everything else defaults. Now, for an existing planned order, like the 4 that I have listed here, I could come in and change quantities. So I could say, go to, instead of 200, I want to make 2,000. I could change the start date. I could change its lead time. If I've got a start date and a lead time, it'll calculate the due date for me when it comes in. Otherwise, if I put a due date in, it will calculate the lead time for me. So we'll just go ahead and make that, say, say 30, 2024 as an example, just to make a change. Oops. Put that in date format. There we go. So now we have that. We've changed this record. We haven't changed any of the others. What we'll do is just go ahead and save it. Now I can also add records here. Remember, the only ones I have to add are the facility ID, the component, the quantity, and the stocking unit of measure, and the start date. Those are the only fields I have to have. Now, we're going to come and this was the order that we had for 100, I believe it was. We're just going to go ahead and do an import. It's basically the opposite of what we just did. I'm going to say no on my save changes that I did up in this area. And now let's go ahead and import from that planned order. And it'll bring in 4 orders successfully imported. I had this checkbox here, so now I'm seeing only the records that came in. Didn't get rid of the others, it's just only showing me those at the moment. And so for here, I've actually got my lead time has been calculated at 13 days. I've changed my quantity from 100 to 2,000, and those were the changes. Had I added one, you'd see another record here for an import being done. So what we've done on this screen is basically made a dynamic relationship between our planned orders screen and Excel. So the planned orders may be generated by MRP. You may choose to firm them on this screen, or maybe push them out to Excel and firm them and then pull them back in. Or you may have a reason that you want to add items to the schedule and do so through a planned order. You want to do that in Excel and then pull it in. This tool, this utility, allows you to do that. This is a really big step for us to be able to allow a lot of flexibility for users to interact with various scheduling mechanisms, pseudo-manual mechanisms for good purpose on their side, that they want to be able to have that control in Excel and then be able to bring it in directly into the schedule. Anyway, this was a requirement that came from a client. We'd love to hear how we can help you out. So don't be shy and send in any requests that you have. Thanks a lot and have a great day.